Being self-reliant is important. You should learn how to write your own Neovim config. No plugins, no external dependencies, just pure autism. You can always install LazyGit later and get LSPs going easily. For now, let's write a cool config. Follow along to learn better by typing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into .config, and then we're going to go into Neovim. Now in here we have init.lua, which is where your config lives. So we're going to rename it. We're going to do init.lua to init.back. So now when we make a new init.lua, this is just bare bones Neovim. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add some numbers right here. It's nice to see the actual line number. So that's vim opt number equals true. And we save, and then we do SO. You can do source, but SO is just a shortcut for that. And there you go. You now have, whoops. You now have a bunch of numbers. Next up, I want to get relative numbers. So that's just relative numbers true. So we're going to save it and then SO. I've made a mistake. Relative, it's relative number. It's not plural, makes sense. There you go. So now we have relative numbers. So as you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3. This is how far away you are from that line. So for example, if you're in normal mode and you want to jump to this line over here, you just do 3k, bam. And because it shows you what the number is, you can actually, you can very easily jump to it. Now, the next thing I want to do is, let's say you have a sentence like, hey, your mom was great last night, smiley face. Would you give her these flowers for me? You know, maybe actually, I want to, just so that she can remember me. So as you can see here, the word just kind of breaks weirdly. Now by default, this shouldn't have wrapped. This should have just been one long sentence. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe something to do with my terminal, how it's configured. This should just be a pretty fresh Neovim install. However, if this doesn't happen, you just do vim opt wrap equals true, and that's how you get this to happen. Now, in my case, it just happened. Don't worry about it. However, the problem here is this. The word breaks awkwardly. So how do we fix this? Well, it's very easy. We do vim.opt.linebreak equals true. And so what Neovim will attempt to do is to graciously, there you go, to graciously break the line. And so when you get to here, the word doesn't just get awkwardly cut off. Also, do say hi to your mum for me. Right, so how else can we improve this config? Well, right now, especially when I'm in insert mode, it's kind of difficult to see where that cursor is. Now, wouldn't it be great if we had some sort of way to easily see where the cursor was? Well, that's what vim.opt.cursor line is for. So if we save and then source, boom, there you go. You now have a very obvious line. Now, if you were particularly unhinged, what you could also do is cursor column. Oh yes, baby, look at that. Look at that. I'm sure there's some very troubled people in chat who probably have a fantastic use for this. I, for one, do not, and so I'm not even gonna play with that. But you can do it if you so choose. Okay, here's a weird one. Maybe this isn't the best order to do this, but I want to show you this one. So you can do vim.opt.backup equals true. So what this does is this enables Neovim to make backups of files just before you save them. Now, this is something that's good to have installed or initialized. You can always look into this further. However, if you want to look into it further, if you want to know where these backups are made, you just do echo That's backup dir. And in my case, it's users admin.local state NvIm backup. We're going to revisit this directory in a bit. It's a pretty good directory to back up, specifically the Neovim NvIm one, because there's a bunch of other directories in there with information that is not only valuable, but also quite sensitive. So do be aware of that. If you have backup initialized, then you might do without realizing it. And if you have this other thing backed up or initialized, which we're going to get to in a minute, you may want to check out this directory, make sure that there's nothing in there that's particularly sensitive, maybe to do with clients or work that may be exposed to something. So just bear that in mind. Now, if you're like me and you have a bunch of text often on in your Neovim, if you notice when you go up and down, the cursor has to go all the way down. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's kind of horrifying. I don't want that to happen. I want to get more context whenever I scroll up and down. And to do that, we do vim opt. Again, opt for option. You'll see this quite a bit. We'll do scroll off equals 10. So if we now source it, so let's say that we have, hi mom. So we just paste this a bunch. When we now move around, notice how the context now we have context whenever we do this. I think that's absolutely gorgeous, personally. Okay, let's get a bit more abstract. I don't like the fact that I have to do escape in order to go into normal mode. It's kind of awkward, it's kind of weird. Some people have it here on their pinky on caps lock. I don't like doing that. And because of that, there's actually an alternative. So here's what we do. We're going to do vim dot, but this time we're not doing opt. We're doing keymap set. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling Vim, hey, I have a very autistic need for something, and I want you to take care of it. Here's what we're going to do. So whenever we're in insert mode, and whenever I type JK in insert mode, what I actually mean is the key escape. So this isn't the text escape, this is the key because it's in little brackets. And so what happens? So let's say we're in insert mode right now, right? So we're typing, hi, LOL, I hope you're well, JK. Oh, what happened? Well, because I typed JK quickly, it has been interpreted as escape. So if I wanted to do JK, you can wait half a second and then you can do the K afterwards. If you just want to type, hi, lol, I hope you're well, JK. And so this is super useful. I use this all the time. It takes a little while to get used to it. I still hit escape a lot of the times. But it's such a useful little meme. And I'm doing my best to actually get used to it. But I'm sure that once I get truly used to it, it's going to be great. Until I have to use Vim on a server somewhere, in which case I'll be typing JK constantly and getting really annoyed. But hey, such is life. Now, you may have noticed that I'm not really using the mouse a lot. And even though Vim is kind of against that, you can use it. So you can do this, right? Vim opt mouse. So what does this do? Let's say that we bring up a new window like this, and I want to resize it, and I don't want to use the keyboard. For some reason, I'm happy to open up a new window with my keyboard, but I don't want to use the keyboard. I want to use the mouse. There you go. You can now do this because we enabled the opt mouse. So you can thank me later. Now, let's say that I'm searching for something. So for example, let's say that I search for a keymap, right? There we go, found it. Now, what if we had something like this? What if we had keymap like this? If we search for keymap, it's not going to find it because the capitalization doesn't match. So what can we do? Well, we can do vim opt ignore case equals true. Now, if we now have something like a keymap like this, and we search for a keymap, boom, it now finds both things. Now, we can actually get even more autistic than this, believe it or not. We can do vim opt, and we can do smart case. Now, how does this work? What is smart case? So with smart case enabled, and by the way, you have to have the ignore case enabled for smart case to work. If you search for key map, what's going to happen is it's going to assume you're a bit wishy-washy about case, and you mean any instance of key map, no matter the capitalization, right? So you can do like this, you can literally do whatever, right? You can do any kind of version of key map with any kind of capitalization is still going to get picked up on. However, if you are specific in your search, so if you say key map like this, all right, yeah, I had to actually source it. So we have key map like this, right? And let's say, so key map, and then let's say key map. So if we now search, yeah, I forgot to source it earlier. If you now search for key map with capitalization, it's only going to find a specific one, or like this, right? And if we search for for lowercase, it's going to find all of them. I think that's pretty handy. I use that quite a lot. Also ignore my use of arrow keys. You didn't see that. Now, what if you were a substitution GigaChad and you wanted to replace something like smart case? Wait, this is by default? Okay, I guess Neovim does this by default. However, there is a option. You can do vim.opt.inc command split. So if we wanted to replace a smart case, I guess maybe this way it shows you multiple options. Maybe so you can maybe like replace opt. Yeah, you can see multiple options and replace them with copt. There you go. Bam. And you can actually see it, and you get like a live preview. I think that's pretty cool. Now, here's something weird. What if you wanted to retain all of your changes between sessions? So let's say you did a bunch of work, you did a bunch of writing, you took a break, you closed Neovim, you took a break, you watched some anime. Look, you did some hard work. You deserve a bit of anime. Now, once you get back to Neovim, you might want to be able to still undo things, even from the previous session. Well, there is one way to do this, and that is vim opt undo file. And this will save an undo file with all of your changes for each file. And if you're wondering where that is, it's in undo da. Same place as before, just a different subdirectory of the Neovim directory. Again, super useful file or directory to back up in case of catastrophic failure. It was going to have a lot of stuff in there, including a bunch of potentially sensitive data. Bear that in mind. Okay, what kind of unhinged tip do I have next? Hear me out. I think a lot of Neovim users haven't really heard of this one before. So it's iabrev. And the way that this works is it's kind of like a snippet function, or snippet feature. So you can do your email like this, and then you source it. So let's say that you constantly have to type in your email in whatever, emails that you send, whatever. And you're concerned that you might mistype it. If you set up a snippet like this, you can then just do add space, and your email gets pasted. If any companies want to pay me so I can make poor recommendations to my audience, you just, this is my email right here. This is where you contact me. You're at email. I'll get back to you ASAP. Now you might think, Christian, there's no way we can get even more autistic than this. Oh baby. Oh, if only you knew. So we're going to do something quite strange now. We're going to do list chars. And we're going to do something a bit weird. And I'm going to explain what this does at the very end. So we're about to paste some truly interesting characters using Unicode code point. So how do we do this? We do Control V, and then we type a code. For this one, we do U00BB. Then we do trail, and then we do another one. We do Control V, and we do U00B7. I definitely memorized all of this, and I don't have it written down somewhere. Don't worry, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then we do Control V and we do U2423. Boom. So what's happened here? Now you may have noticed just now that this thing occurred right here. So this is a visual indicator of a tab, because of course you can have a bunch of spaces, see, and you need to know the difference sometimes. So a bunch of dots like this just means trailing space, and depending on the context, you may really not want to have that. This one right here is a non-breaking space, which is a bit outside of the scope of this video, but we have it in there just as well. Next up, I want to show you something that some of you find very useful. I personally don't like having this, but some of you will really like this. So we're going to do v key map set. We're going to do it in, so whenever we're in insert mode and we type an open parentheses, what I actually want is open and close parentheses, escape I. So what does this do? It does this. As you can see, it actually, when I open a parentheses, it closes it and then it moves, right? So if we follow the logic here, what I actually mean is open parentheses, close parentheses, escape, the actual key, and then insert. And so the result is this, smiley face. Now, of course, this also works for a bunch of other things. So like, for example, we can do this, and then this can do this, and then there you go. So when we do this, this happens, and when we do this, this happens. Very nice. Again, I personally don't like that. I don't like my editor making decisions for me like that, but some of you do, and so it's there. Now, let's get even more crazy. What if you want to set up a key map, but only have it function if the file that you're editing is of a certain type? So we're going to do the following, and this one's going to be a doozy. We're going to do vim.api.nvim underscore create underscore auto cmd. File type, just like that. Open curly brace. We're going to do pattern equals C, and I'll explain what that means in a second. Function, and then, or actually maybe I should just explain now. So what we're doing is we're looking at a file. It's like, hey, is the file that we're currently editing, is it a C file, as in C, the programming language? If it is, then I want you to do the following. I'm going to have a key map, only in insert mode. If we open the parentheses, do burp burp, parentheses, and then a curly brace, then go back into normal mode, left, we go left twice, and then I, and then we do end, squally brace, parentheses. So what's actually happening here is you insert this, you then do curly brace, space curly brace, escape, then you do left, left, and then I, and you can type inside of it, right? So to prove this to you, we're going to make a test.c. So this is a C file, as you can see at the bottom left. So we're going to open, boom. So now we can, so if we're doing like, you know, like int main or something, boom. And if you have anything to put in there, you can. If not, you can just get on with your business. Pretty neat, if you ask me. Now you might say, but Christian, what if Neovim doesn't recognize my file type that I'm working at? What do I do then? Well, we're gonna make a couple of changes if that's what you want. So we're gonna do the following. So we're gonna do like this. We're gonna do buff read, and then we're gonna do buff new file. I'm gonna close like that, and then we're gonna provide a file type here, like this, a file extension. And so just to prove it to you, we're gonna do MD instead of C. and then we can have the same concept, right? So if let's just source, then we don't need to, nvim test.md. So we can now do int main boop, and the same thing works. And of course, you don't have to do this exact example. You can literally do whatever you want. This is just an example. However, we will get into more specific examples a bit later in this video. Now, before we get any further, I just want to point out that if you want a written version of this, you can go to my GitHub. I have a thing here. I have a repo called guides, which contains a bunch of written versions of guides videos that I've made over on YouTube. And wait, what's this? Huh? It's a secret forum for the viewers. Man, I hope you don't check that one out. That would be terrible. I hope you wouldn't leave a star on this repo. Anyway, let's get back to work. So the next thing I want to do is let's set up a leader. Now, if you don't know what a leader is, don't worry about it for now. This is super important though, and it will become very clear what this does. You know, sometimes you have this problem where let's say you have, you have like some text, right? And you delete it. And then you write something else, and then you delete that, and you think, oh, I wanted to paste here, but boo is now in here. How do I avoid this? Can I not delete without this happening? Well, you can. And there is a roundabout way of doing it, and there is a sneaky fox way of doing it, which I'm going to teach you right now. So when you're in normal mode, we're going to do leader like this, and because it's in the little brackets, just like escape, it means that you're pressing leader, not that you're typing leader. So we're going to do, when you do leader D, and then we do double quotes, underscore D, and like this. And actually, we're going to do one for visual mode as well. So what does this mean? So let's say that I have hi, right? Deleted is still there. But what if I wanted to, let's say I typed by. Let's say I wanted to delete by, but I still wanted to keep hi in my clipboard. How do I do this? Well, we do leader delete. So we do space DD. And now if we paste, did we not source? I think we literally just didn't source. Let's try this again. So hi, so we want to keep this. We do by, so let's just make sure. So we still have hi, okay. So if we do by and we delete, we now have by, which is not good. What we want is to have hi, delete, and we have by, space, delete, and then when we paste, we still have hi. So we kept the original thing that we deleted. How does this work? What's happening here? So if you look at this meme here, so you have double quote underscore. So what's happening? When you delete something in Vim, that gets put in a certain clipboard, in a certain register. Well, you have multiple registers that you can use, one of which is underscore. So when you look here and you say register underscore D, what this means is I want you to delete, but I want you to put it in this register. You deleted and saved to a different clipboard so that you can actually use multiple clipboards or multiple registers if you so choose. Now, what if you wanted to combine your operating system clipboard with that of Neovim? At least on Mac OS, this is how you do it. I think this is how you do it on any OS, I'm not sure. And then plus SO. So right now, we have let's say we have doggy, right? So if we delete it, so it's in the clipboard. If I go to my raycast, hopefully there's nothing awkward on the screen. If I do this, it's now in my macOS clipboard. So if I do doggy LOL, copy this, there you go. So you can now seamlessly paste, copy and paste between your operating system clipboard and Neovim. All right, let's get even crazier. So we're going to do key map, Vim key map set. So whenever we're in normal mode and we press leader A, here's what I want. I want to do this. Split, vertical bar, terminal, CR, and this. So what does this do? This should work. Yeah, there we go. So here's what happens. When I do leader A built-in terminal shows up in a different window. Remember we had the little thing, we can just do this, right? So if you do I, you can then just use it as normal. And then, how do you quit this again? I know that there's a way that you can clear it, that you can get out of it. I guess you can just do A. Oh my God, I'm so smart. Bro, I am so smart. There you go, that's how you quit it. So if you ever thought, gee, I wish I could like exit Neo, why would you ever want to exit Vim? Boom, here's your terminal. Just, you know, you got your cal in here, you got your calendar, you know what day it is. I don't know why you'd ever want to leave Neovim. You're welcome. Okay, let's continue with our journey here. So let's go back to this meme over here. I'm just gonna yank it real quick. So let's say that you're particularly crazy about the C programming language and you do a lot of programming in C. What if you wanted to set up some boilerplate? Let me just quickly leave and come back because that bothers me, the little highlight thing. What if you wanted to set up some real bad boy GigaChad boilerplate? Here's how you do it. So when you're in normal mode, we'll do leader BC. So what this means is boilerplate for C, right? So we're going to do the following. We're going to do I, so that we go into insert mode, hash include, standard io.h, very nice. We do CR, which means carriage return. Just move this here for a second. And then we do it twice actually. So we press enter twice, then we do int main, we do parentheses, we do squirrely brace, carriage return once more, we close the squirrely brace, we go back into normal mode, and then we open an empty line above where we currently are. So now, if we source this, so if we quit and we go into test.c, remember leader BC, boom. So now you can do your stuff. Ignore that, but there you go. And of course, because you're a GigaChad, back to where were this? I guess C, like this. Yeah. So we don't want. Let's just remove this meme, right? So if we go back to test.c and we do BC, right? Then you can do printf. Oh, interesting. Hold on a second. Printf. Oh, it takes us one too far. Okay, we can fix that. Don't worry about it. And I can go hi mom, and then this would actually run. It's just we don't have it set up yet. Don't worry, we're gonna set it up in a second. But if we go back to here, actually, I kind of want to fix this very quickly. I think it's just that we go one too many on the left, right? So if we just went, yeah, I think we just go one too many. I think that's literally the problem. So if we go to NvIM test, so we do BC and then we do printf. Oh, we don't have to go. Please excuse my autism. I'm just, we literally don't need this at all. There we go. So now if we go to NvIM test.c, so if we do space BC, printf, hey, we did it. Man, I'm so proud. Someone give me a like in the comments. Also, speaking of which, have you paid the fee for this video, for this lesson, it is pressing the like button. 1 like equals 1 payment made in full. Thank you. So now let's continue. So what if you wanted to do something very, very cool? So let's say you were in normal mode and you did Control J and you did the following. I'm not going to explain what this does right now. I'm just going to show you what it produces in a sec. So let's say we do Control K and then we do -2 carriage return. Yep. Okay. -2. There we go. So watch this. Isn't that beautiful? It allows you, whatever line you're on, you just do Control J or Control K, and bish bash bosh, you can move lines around. Very cool. Now, what if you were one of those nerds who likes to actually type stuff? Well, Vim has a built-in spell checker. Now, you can enable a profile or you can enable a university like this. So, true. So, LOL, hi mom. Wait, this is not... Do I have to... Let's go back to testmd for a sec. Hi mom, hi lol, mom. There you go, perfect. So as you can see, it's actually showing us that there are some errors. Now, you could do z equals for as you hover over the word, and it will give you options. So let's say we actually meant hi, 1, there we go. Z equals, lol, is it, okay, sure. Hi lol bomb. Now, that's pretty cool, but we can actually take it a step further because we are using Vim. So we're going to do Vim keymap set. Now, whenever you're in normal mode, let's say you're going to do leader st. What that does is it does :set spell bang carriage return. So what this should do, if we go back to test.md, so leader st toggles spell check. Now, if you wanted to, you could go here and you can set this to false. So by default, whenever you would you look at a file, it's turned off unless you do leader spell toggle, leader spell toggle, leader spell toggle. Get it? That's what the st stands for. I'm so clever. Now, let's take it even further. You can also do things like option spell lang equals enus. That works. And also, see that? Coming in handy already. I think you can do ngb as well, I believe. So if we do test, there you go. So if you do something like specialize, instead of specialize, what's a British only term, or like a spelling? Normalize, right? So you have normalize and normalize. I guess it doesn't pick up on it, don't worry. I think ngb is an option, nus is definitely an option. Moving on. Now, we can get even crazier with this. Vim keymap set normal mode. So what if we did the following? What if we did leader su and we did z equals like this, and we went back to NvIM test. Now let's spell toggle. So let's say we're hovering over lol. So now if we do leader su for spelling suggestion, there you go. So instead of doing z equals, you can now do leader spelling suggestion. Bam. We go back to the RC. Also, the way I'm doing this, by the way, the reason why this works is because I have an alias in my ZSH RC. So whenever I type NvIM RC, it actually opens the config with Neovim. So that's why this works. Vim key map set. Let's do another one. So what if we wanted to do, let's say, leader SF, and then we're going to do close square bracket S, and then just for good measure, we have another one, and we're going to call it SB, and we're going to do the opposite, right? So now if we go to NvIM test.md, we're going to toggle the spelling. If we do leader SF, it takes us forward nice kitty cat. Why is nice? I guess because it's not capitalized, maybe? Nice should not be. Yeah, that's okay, that's why. So if you do spelling forward, spelling forward, spelling forward, spelling forward, spelling forward, it just loops around, right? Or you can do SB for spelling backwards. So now you can travel back, or you can just do this, whichever one you prefer. This is obviously faster, but hey, who am I to judge? Now, let's say you're one of those programmers. I don't know why I say it like that. And you're writing some code, and you don't want to get too fancy. You just want to be able to execute it, right? Well, let's say that you're writing something in Ruby. So we do something like this, and I'll explain what this does in just a second. So we do :W, carriage return, which is enter, : bang, Ruby, %, carriage return. So what does this do? So first of all, this saves the current file before executing it. Then it does bang, Ruby, and then %, which just means current buffer. So it's like saying, hey, Ruby, run this current buffer. So let's say we do test.rb, right? So we do puts hello mother, right? So now if we do leader execute Ruby, there you go. So it executes it for us right here. So if you go back to the MRC, now let's say that you wanted to do this for C. How would you do it for C? Vim keymap.set and leader, and then we do execute C. Again, you can pick whatever shortcuts you want. I just think this makes sense. So we save, and then we do bang GCC, the current file -o, current file :r, ampersand, boop, %, boop, boop, and then another carriage return, and boom. And so if we were to go back to our test.c, execute C, there's an error, I forgot, classic mistake. And there you go, hi mom has been executed. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the right place now. Now you may have noticed that earlier, once you search for something, it just stays highlighted. That's kind of annoying. So let's do vim opt highlight search equals true. So that, and then we do, which I guess it's already turned on by default, but we're going to do keymap.set. So when in normal mode, if I do escape, what I mean to do is command no hl search and then carriage return. So now, see that? If you search for something, pressing escape gets rid of that pesky highlight. Now we are getting closer to the end, so don't worry, your anime waifu can wait for you for just a little bit longer. So let's say, when you like yank something like this, and I'm not referring to your anime wife right now. When you do this, nothing shows. I mean, it's working. It's just, it would be nice to get some sort of visual feedback that, hey, you just yanked it real hard. So here's how you do it. vim.api.nvim yank.create_auto cmd text yank post. So this is like when a yank occurs, right? Callback function. Yes, I know every time you do it. That's how I know. That's how I know how to do this. I'm watching you. Yank. And by yanking it, I mean copying something in Neovim. So let's source this, right? So now, there you go. When you do yank, it gives you a nice visual confirmation that it's watching you. It knows you're yanking it. Next up, let's get a bit more abstract here. So let's say you have the term anime waifu, and you wanted to put it between single quotes or in parentheses or double quotes, because of course you don't have one, right? The way you would do this, if you were a dork, is you would select it like this. You'd do change, single quote, escape, shift P. Now this works, but you're not really showing off your Neovim config excellence. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this in a way more roundabout way than we need to. So whenever we're in visual mode, we're gonna do the following: leader, single quote, double quote, C, single quote, escape, capital P, like this, right? And we source it. So now, if we have anime waifu, we're gonna select it. Bear in mind, don't select it, don't yank the whole line, because that includes a new line, right? Do it like this, yank. Actually, don't even yank it, just do like this. And then leader, single quote. Bam! Oh wow, isn't that brilliant? Now you might say, Christian, can I do this for like a bunch of other things? Yes, you can. You can do it like this. So then we're gonna sort, I guess we have to escape the, wait. I mean, we could escape it, but we could just do this. Actually, I'm not sure if we could escape it, but this works. We're just doing this. So anime waifu. So then space, double quote, close enough. Let's try this again. Waifu, space, perfect. So of course you can do this for parentheses. You can do it for square brackets, for squirly braces, for whatever your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful? And of course, we're doing it in visual mode because it's just easier because it's already pre-selected. There's two more things I want to show you. This first one is super useful if you write a bunch of stuff in Markdown. Now you might say, whenever you do Markdown and you want to have a hyperlink, you have to do this, right? It's kind of boring. There's a better way. We're going to do, whenever we're in normal mode, we're going to do leader, LI, and then we're going to do the following. Insert, go into insert mode, square brackets, open parentheses, go left, then go left again, then go left again, escape A. So what does this do? So if we do leader LI for link insert, there you go. Actually, I'm wondering, I want to test something. Test leader LI. Okay, it does work, perfect. So if you want to, hi mom, here's my homework folder. So then you just do leader LI, and then you just do homework, and then of course you provide it with the path, with the hyperlink. Now, what if you already have the name of the thing selected, right? So, and you wanted to make it into a hyperlink. Well, we're going to do like this. We're going to do LI again, but in visual mode. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do Command, Control R, then this, then then escape, then left, and then we do A. So now we have homework, right? It's already selected. Let's do or let's do, this is my homework folder, right? So you just do select round word, or maybe even select inside word, and then li. Huh? Do we not source it? I think we didn't source it. Source it, paste it back in, homework, side word, li. Boom! So now you can have the path right here. Beautiful. Now, there's one more thing we can do. We're going to do another one of these key map memes. So let's just do leader like this, and then boop, 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 boop. So first one we're going to do is W. So if I do leader W, what I actually want to do is this. Right, then you do carriage return. If I do Q, then what I mean is this, and then carriage return. And then if I do bang, Q, capital Q, then Q, bang, carriage return, boom. So the meme here, let's source it. So leader W saves, leader Q quits. And then if you have some stuff, you mean space, capital Q, it means, hey, I really want to get out of here. And there we go. This is how you can write yourself a pretty based config file. Now, if you've enjoyed it, leave a like, thanks. But also, do you have any unhinged tips for a Neovim config? Post them down below. And hey, if this video does well, I might just do a review of like LunarVim or ChadVim or was it Kickstart.nvim? You name it. I'm here to serve you. I'm here for you. Anyway, if this does well, we'll do some cool stuff. Also, I want to say thank you. The channel's been growing quite crazy like recently. It's very, very humbling that you want to listen to my schizo ramblings on Vim and yapping in the woods. And I genuinely mean it. Thank you so much. It actually means a lot. Anyway, let's not get too syrupy here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.